call you Pewa?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right. So, Mepewa, good morning.
Mepewa. Did you hear that? Yes.
Yes, you know, as my mentor.
Abba.
Yes.
People are going to look at me with expectations like, am I doing a good job?
Mepewa has been my mentor for forever. We've come a very long way. So I want to welcome you to Efe Present.
Thank you.
I was very determined in 2021 that I wouldn't record Efe Presents till I got you as my first person. So if you're wondering why we are only recording our first episode in September.
Imagine. End of year commitments.
But she said to me, it is well. It's happening when it's supposed to happen. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you for
having me.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. I'm honored. I really am honored, and I should have done this at the beginning of Efe Presents, because if there's one person that really knows my journey, you are the one that knows my journey.
It is well. Thank you, and hello. I've made it. I made it live. It's a great platform. It's a great platform in our society, in our lifetime, in our generation, and I don't take it lightly. I've learned something recently about honor and privilege. Honor is when it's about you.
Yes.
But privilege is when it's about others. For me, it's a privilege. It's just a pure privilege to be identified and say, let's have a conversation. I appreciate it.
I know you're very passionate at this point in your life about lifting people up and really bringing them
Can you imagine?
Yes. And that's why this conversation had to happen, because you also needed to get here as well in its complete fullness. You knew you were getting there, but you needed to get there in its complete fullness. So I'm also very honored to have you here, because I am where I am supposed to be. And this brings us to the topic of today. And guys, I'm gonna take Mepewa out of her comfort zone, because when you see her, she's forever the talking about business, and she's forever talking about entrepreneurship, and she's so passionate about that. But today I'm bringing her to a different space.
Imagine.
And you're going to see that space about Mepewa. You wonder about this thing about her, and all of you have been thinking about it. I know. Because you're wondering if this woman can even be in this space. Yes, but
I don't think you can do the other space without this space.
But the people need to know that you are in that space.
All that will destroy you. Business is not child's play. Business in Namibia is not child's play. Business in Africa is not child's play. Sometimes I wonder, are we business people or are we busy people?
Yes.
Because when you study business, and I'm a student of business, it tells you something else at business school. But then you come into the real world and you realize, is it really a firefight like this? So I think we need to first understand that as Africans, and I mean indigenous Africans, we were just not part of the master plan. We were in the plan, but not as the forefront, not as the leaders. We are the consumers. It was designed that there will be customers, and it is us. There will be people that will just be consuming everything from finances, food, clothing, furniture. They are welcome in the space of the economy, but only if they consume. The minute they want to break into production, we abort them. Abort them. We dull their spirit. We frustrate them. We abuse them emotionally, and then we don't have to kill them. They will kill themselves.
Now, this is interesting for me. So how do you feel now? Because there is something that is new, that is coming through in the entrepreneurs. I know, sorry guys, so everyone, I can't help it. But that is coming through in the entrepreneurs in Namibia, in Windhoek, in all over Namibia. And this is what COVID has also done. And whether we like it or not, and I like that, because I'm going to throw something that you also said. I was watching your video and it said that this is the time for us to be innovative. Now I see that the Namibian people have become
more
yes.
innovative. Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's exciting to see. I mean, I'm all about cosmetics and all of that. And I really see right now that there's such a move among the women to actually do more.
And this is great
yes.
because when you look at restoration,
yes.
it's putting us in our
Yeah,
rightful position.
Yes.
Let me tell you,
Yes.
creativity
Yes.
is ordained.
Yes.
It is from the
Yes.
Creator.
Yes. Yes.
And life has torn us.
Yes.
You know, when the winds are blowing,
Yes.
Efe, when the rain is harsh, when the climate is rigid, you crack, you dry up, but you haven't died yet.
Yes.
So the only thing that can happen is to restore you.
Yourself. Yes.
I think there was a blessing in COVID because it gave people a chance to remember, who am I? What can I do?
Yes.
What can I add value to? Because they were so focused and obsessed with external things. What the boss is saying, what the government is saying, what your political leaders are saying, and then everybody failed you. Everything shut off. Now you have to look up. What will I feed these kids? Let me bake. Let me Google. What will I give my mother? Let me start a laundry. So but it's not a aha moment. It is what it is. It's actually the right thing. Tapewa is not extraordinary. Efe is not extraordinary. Everyone has got something. Mine was just extracted earlier because of my climate. And yours was extracted earlier because of what life had to do. But there's nothing that says you are less or you are less of a human being and you can offer less. In fact, we should all be on the playfield and give our gifts out to feed us, my sister. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Amen!
I always love talking to Pewa. Pewa restores my spirit.
Abba, I'm a restorer. Please, in fact, my social media team, now I want a new tag. Topewa Katiba, the restorer. I'm sure people are like,
And I'm the enabler.
Oh, yeah, you're an enabler. Praise the Lord. Yeah.
So let's
so get out of your mind, get out of the psychology that there are some that are better gifted. No, we are all under the sun. We've been given the same grace and we must deliver that thing. Now, COVID, you look at it whatever way you want to look at it. For me, I always say it in Oshiwambo, omanga omepo inejamo monolo yange. Until the breath is been out of my breath. Abba.
You are going to give.
Abba.
Everything.
Abba.
All of it.
Abba.
Yes.
You can think anything less of me or whatever, but if I just give those eyes, toof, and there's air. Abba. I'm going.
You're going.
I'm going.
Anyway.
No, wherever I know my purpose. I know my direction.
Yes. When I mean anywhere, I mean where you have
been called to go. Yes. So you can't dim. You can't dim a light at this stage.
Yes, we can't. And this is why this conversation is so important. That women or men, because I don't know, we when we talk as women, then men feel excluded. But women and men have to understand the concept, the very, very concept of restoration. And I think this is where COVID, like you said, really came in, where it really changed our mindset, where it's changed our perspective as to how we see things and how we value things. Although COVID did this, I would like to also say that I think when everyone started dying, when people started dying and the cemetery started getting fuller, I think this became such an eye-opener as to how much we have as people, as individuals, and really why it becomes important to make sure that every single day that you live, you are living in your gift and you are living in your purpose.
I understand that, and I think where the battle is our conditioning. So if you look historically, our conditioning has been very external, you know. the advertising world is very good at that.
Yes.
Buy this, buy two for the price of one.
Mm.
So your stimulation is external. Né? A lot of external
Yes.
stimulation. Magazines, media. That is why I commend your show. We must step into the media space and deliver content. We can't just be looking at content that is not relatable. Do you understand? So our conditioning is very external in the curriculum. Imagine from grade 1 until grade 12, we're just learning about Jan van Riebeeck. By the way, Jan van Riebeeck's relatives, I don't have a problem with you. I just can't relate though. I can't.
You can't.
Yeah, and then you got Jan van Riebeeck, external, artificial, wrong information. Then you exit the school system, which really cements the beginning of your life. 19 or 18 years old, and now you must navigate life. But you were never told who is Efe. You were never even identified your personality type during school. Now you are dealing with trauma, you are dealing with disappointments, you are dealing with money, and you've never met the real issues of life in the maximum amount of years that you could receive instruction. And then you exit, and here you must now figure life out. So COVID for me, I don't know, maybe because of my background, I don't care about COVID.
Okay.
Not some of us who have seen many other catastrophes. Do you understand? I have no business with the grave. You have no business with the grave. That is the last thing you have control over. But I've got control over this side, which is life. And it's okay, especially in the Black community. You came into life without your control. Your parents met, had a good conversation, and then you were produced. But they didn't create you. Even your parents did not create you.
I hear you.
Hence, you must honor your parents, but also you must have a discussion with this creator. Hano, what exactly did you create me for? Because if I am going to create something, I will not create something that oppresses you. I will not create something that abuses you. So you need to know, who am I in relation to this creator? What were your plans? Okay, can you reveal them
to me?
And can we get onto them? Because when I go, I don't think I'm going to live in that place. It's here as a show, which I must deliver my experience.
Now, life breaks us down.
Of course.
Yes, life. This is now
Do you know that we're even maybe traumatized as we sit here and we just don't know at level what the trauma. Like, you know, when they say lockdown level 1, level 2, I'm like, I think we are now level 4 trauma.
So life breaks us down.
Of course.
And then we lose sight. But the most interesting part of this journey is that sometimes you don't even know that you have lost sight till you are coming to this. Okay, so we're talking about restoration and what restoration is. So what is restoration to you? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really now taking Mepewa out of her space, out of her business space, and I'm taking her into the mental health space. And it's just really important for me. I love Mepewa a lot, and I want you people to see that part that I see when we have this conversation. It's very important for me that people really get to relate to you on that level, because you've been such a pillar of support to me, and you have encouraged me in times where I have thought, what am I doing? And each time I have done something that has helped me in my restoration process, you have encouraged me in that. You have said to me, Efe, well done. You know, and this is very important because, like you said, it's so important that we lift people up and we constantly encourage them. Now, this is the thing that people need to understand, that what is this restoration that we're talking about? We can talk about it. If you want to push it into the business space, I'm fine with that, and we can have a little chat about it. But I want us to talk as women, you know, as mothers, as people who have such strong characters, and we are in the public space. I had a conversation with someone, and I said, it's always so weird when I go out and people are talking to me, and they talk to me like they're familiar with me, and then the person was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, they must know me from somewhere if they think they can be so comfortable to talk to me in that way that they speak to me. Now, this is the story of your life. People walk around and they just want to meet Pewa Kadikwa, you know. So we can also push
and
it
they don't
into,
know she's also been cracked up.
Yes. they've put, you know, they've put you on this pedestal. And but you deserve where you are, what you are bringing and what you've given to people. And that's why I want you to talk about restoration, because you have shown me, you know, it's not something that people have seen in public space, but you have shown me as a person that it is possible to run an empire and still be down to earth. I remember rolling my eyes when you changed your name, because I still haven't changed my name. So, and I thought, I wouldn't have changed my name. Your family values, the things that you have, the things that are so nurturing about you, these are the things that you have strived to keep consistently, despite what you have been building. Because building an empire like this cannot be easy. You understand? So you have been
This
broken
mental
down.
trauma on its own.
I remember when we sat here and we sat on those wooden things.
Remember with the Nigerian ambassador?
I still have.
I need therapy. Can somebody give a voucher for Madam Berira, please?
and now we are sitting in your VIP lounge.
It's true, eh?
Yes. I remember when I was walking
Efe,
in your kitchen and I was wearing an apron and I was going to make
making
a
soup.
Yes, I was making a goosey soup. And yes, and I was walking and people were coming in and I was serving them. I remember those days, and this is why this conversation is so important.
Thank you for taking me back.
Yeah, because you have kept those values. I see it in your children. I see it when we talk, and we have just kept on going. So how?
We thank God.
And how restoration? How did you come back? How did you maintain it? How did you keep it? How are you able to keep that thing that keeps Pewa going?
Woo! Meme.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for taking me back. I really forgot.
Yes.
I really forgot. And wow, we've come a long way. We should write a book, co-author a book together. But anyway, there's a lot in your question.
Yes.
And I don't know if there's one single answer or maybe just a journey of a relationship. I think one of the things that have helped me is to be true to myself. You know, I need very little to be happy. I don't know if you've observed that. And I don't complicate my life or myself. I look at my situation and I accept it very quickly. If I'm stuck, I tell myself very quickly, Tuapewa, you are stuck. So I developed a level of contentment a long time ago. A long time ago. You can't stimulate me inappropriately. You can't. I don't have a problem using a taxi all month.
Yes.
I will never feel less than somebody who's driving a Jeep. Do you understand? I just don't. I don't have a problem with buying a sewing kit and fixing my buttons because I can't afford a new jacket. And not once will you make me feel less of a human being than you are. So, and I think it's because I've always been an intentional person. Intention and purpose was a big thing to me. So that pressure was just never there. I'll celebrate you, I'll be with you, but I will never feel less unintentionally. If there's pressure that must come to me, oh Lord, please, not from myself. Let it come from uncontrollable things, but please, I can't do that to myself. So when I go to my pillow, my husband said recently, I snore. I think that's an achievement. I always thought people that snore are so cool. Why? You don't have problems or what? So I asked him, can you please record me? I think, wow, I've been waiting to snow all my life because I've always been a very hyperactive child. There's this and that to do.
yes.
People that snow, don't they have things to do?
Yeah, or just
So
snoring,
yeah,
sleeping.
so that element, the contentment,
Yes.
I guess all right.
Yes.
Yeah, and then number 2 is authenticity. So my desire to be authentic helped me a lot, Efe. You remember that I was born in Gamienta. Going to town is an achievement.
Yes.
Looking townish is an achievement because the black people were conditioned to have nothing of value. Do you understand? So you need to look a certain way to be respected. And I could never catch up.
Yes.
I literally could not catch up. And I just stopped running to that thing, and then it helped me. That's why my personal development journey started much earlier than my peers, because now I have to know. And even in school, I mean, there was always beautiful girls, cute girls that everybody wanted to befriend, and I wasn't in that queue.
Yes.
So I had to find something internally
Yeah, see.
quicker, because my journey needed that ingredient. Oh Lord, you're taking me far. That ingredient to sustain me. So I just felt, and maybe that's where my journey with the Lord started much earlier, because if I'm gonna be a mango, I need to be near the mango tree.
Yes.
I need to be on that mango branch so I can be the biggest and most ripe mango as possible for me to be juicy.
Yes.
Otherwise, how can I be a lemon on a mango tree? So my identity, my understanding of self, my acceptance of self was intentional, but purely because I just don't have that external control. Now, what restoration means to me, restoration is almost like a first aid kit. You need to find your formula. You need to find your formula of restoration. What does it mean to you? Is it going to the north to sleep for 2 weeks? Is it crying in your bed all day? Is it going to Efe's house and sleeping in her bed? Is it sitting at the car wash? I don't know. But you need to find a formula that restores you. Because life as a characteristic will extract things out of you. It will extract thoughts. It will extract emotions. We get disappointed. You know, I told my team members the other day, I said, hey, good luck to the next person who's going to disappoint me. There's no room.
Yes, I have no
This
capacity.
back, I don't know if you've seen those illustrations of a back with stabs. It's like, if you are going to disappoint me, good luck, but there's no more space. I am over disappointed. Not by cats, not by dogs, by
but
human beings.
I hear
So, if you're going to disappoint me, it's okay.
Yes.
But I just don't have space to
Yes,
deal with
to
our
handle.
issue.
Yes.
So, you will win.
Yes.
If you want to betray me,
Yes,
you will win.
Yeah.
If you want to gossip me, you will win. If you want to backstab me, you will win. I will not come back to you. I will not have a meeting with you. And thank God for the people that came before you, because they finished any
took it all.
element. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That is, but that being said, the biggest thing, or one of the things that I take, or the things that I take from this is, regardless of what all we have talked about in terms of, you know, what restoration is, it would help if we had a little bit of contentment. If we were
little
authentic,
bit.
yes,
A little
lot
bit
of
is
it.
not enough.
Okay, we had
You need
a lot.
a good dose.
Yes.
I've seen people run a good race, Efe, and they couldn't even show a cup from their race because they never took time to enjoy the plastic cup. They're so busy chasing external things, and I don't have a problem with that, but I can't catch up.
Yes.
And I don't want
doesn't
everything.
stop.
I
It's
just
actually-
don't.
yeah, it
I also
doesn't-
don't want
yes,
everything.
But it just doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. So you're on this
Yes,
treadmill
yes,
and you are running
yes.
and you can't even enjoy the flowers outside,
Yes,
etc. So
yeah.
for me,
Contentment, gratitude,
That's it.
authenticity.
That's
These
it.
are big things, you know. These are big
they have
things.
sustained
Yes.
me. Recently, I cooked at home. I cooked beans and then pap. Or I think no, just beans. So the kids came from school and said, "What are we eating today?" I said, "Beans."
Here's
And
meat.
I said, "Guys, Google beans. There's everything in beans. There's protein, da 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 da." And later, we all had a full 2 days of beans. I didn't have any pressure to get what I can't get or what I don't want to get.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So I need very little to be happy.
Yes.
So my happiness is inside. My
Yes,
joy
is
is
and
inside.
this is a big thing. This is a big thing because this is where we're gonna just move the conversation into the identity thing.
Yes.
Where we talked about where we said who are you? You know, because now you've thrown out all these characteristics or personalities that you need to have in the restoration process. Now, the one thing that you have highlighted as we've been talking is the fact that the cycle of life is just keeps going. Things are going to keep coming at you, and like you're saying, this illustration you gave with the disappointment or the stabs in the back, it just comes to show you that you understand that that stabbing in the back is not even going to stop. You understand? So that means this comes to the thing that who are you when these things are happening? These are the qualities that you need to have when these things are taking place, because they are not going to stop taking place. I said to someone yesterday, she was talking about people she works with in the office, and I said the one thing you're going to realize as an entrepreneur and a business owner is that people come and people go. And at some point you need to be able to understand that they are going to go. And sometimes when they want to go, you need to let them go, because they are not even part of your vision. You carry on with your vision and everything happens for you. So this is the conversation now that we're going to have about who are you? What qualities, what things must we have when we are facing those cycles each day? Because like I said to someone died 5 years ago, someone died 10 years ago, and someone someone died last week, and somemeone's probably going to die while
next week.
Next week.
Or maybe after this interview.
Yes. It's not funny, guys. But
for me, I just don't have a problem with death.
Yes, but that is the thing.
By the way, before we go to that, why do you guys have such issues with death?
Because
especially black people. Woo! I don't want to die. Woo! You're going to kill me. Hello?
I don't have a problem with death. I think in more recent years I've just struggled with grief.
Oh.
I
be more obsessed with living.
Yes, no, I think grief.
Grief is real.
Grief is so
We
complicated.
should make a curriculum. Okay, I'm going to write a book about grief. We should make a curriculum about that, because trauma is real, and trauma is in so many different cycles.
But people always associate grief with death of people. But grief is not necessarily mourning the loss of someone else, but it's actually the mourning
dealing
the loss
with
of
a disappointment, with a process.
Yes, the process. So this is the thing that
waking up today was already a grieving situation. Woo! If I tell you what I went through yesterday, I say, hey!
Yeah,
can you imagine?
But you woke up and
I told you, if I find breath in my lungs,
you will be here.
I am in charge of that day.
Yes.
It's not in charge of me.
Yes.
Into identity. What a beautiful, beautiful angle. Imagine Efe doing life in the wrong identity.
Yes.
Just imagine.
Yes.
What a catastrophe.
What a calamity.
It's like you are trapped.
Yes.
You are literally in prison.
Yes.
But you are walking around.
Yes. That's very sad.
That is a calamity.
Yes.
The way my Nigerian cousins say, "Wee! What a calamity."
Of massive proportions.
Chai!
That is what we always
massive. It's a massive calamity. So, yeah.
Yes.
Whatever is trapping you,
Yes.
you have now the ability to identify you. If it is a thinking pattern, eliminate it. Whatever is trapping you, if it is the way you deal with disappointment, begin to invest in yourself. Short courses, get a mentor, you need to do self-assessment, self-reflection. How am I on dealing ne? What are these things that are preventing me from becoming the best version of myself? And only you know them, but you need to know how to do self-assessment because you need to know how you are. So assess as quickly as possible. Do I like my weight? If I don't, I will do something about it. Do I like the fact that I'm always broke? I will do something about it. Do whatever it is that you don't like. And I tell you, everybody has a list of things they don't like about themselves, about their day-to-day life, about their experiences. So you don't need help. You just need guidance to cross that bridge. And until you deal with it, your identity will be flawed. Do you understand? You will not be happy. You will not be joyful. And then you cannot fulfill your purpose. Because your purpose needs you to be in attendance. You know, there are some people, today is Tuesday, but some people can be in Tuesday, but they are literally in last week Thursday.
Or they're in 10 years ago. They can talk about issues and you're like, okay, I thought we were over that.
We're not over that. Don't you want to move on? Do you understand?
I hear
so
you.
I don't want ever to find myself in winter and I'm behaving like I'm in spring. If I'm in winter, I will behave accordingly. If I'm in summer, I'll behave accordingly. Now, when we talk about identity, what do we mean? I'm back to Christ because I cannot imagine knowing who you are away from your Creator. I just can't imagine. When this verse of Joel says, I will restore you. Who is I? Who's I? You need, the book of Joshua says, as for me and my house, I will serve the Lord. You have to at some point have a conviction that says, yes, I see there's these 10,000 things going on, but I am this one. What's killing many people, they are not making that decision. Because if you don't make that decision, you can't anchor. The anchor is what solidifies you. Then you go in. Be who you are, be whatever you want to do, but be prepared to see it through. I cannot do life away from Christ because I believe my parents gave birth to me, but I was created by. And I have an obligation. You understand?
And you know your purpose.
I know my purpose, and it's so juicy. Efe, do you know how nice it is?
It's the most beautiful thing that you can ever experience. Knowing who you are, knowing what you are meant to do, and actually doing it. I thought it was so cliche when people say find something that you love and you never have to work one day in your life or something. It's amazing. I literally jump out of bed every single morning. It's an amazing thing, knowing exactly what I'm supposed to do and where I'm supposed to be going. And this is nice.
It's so beautiful. It's actually relieving.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think for me it was like, is that why I'm like this? Oh! So it's called purpose. All right, let's get on to it. You know, it's such a relief. It's such a blessing. There is a joy in you that cannot be quenched. Happiness is about things that are happening. Now you need to move to joy. Joy doesn't care what's happening. Because joy comes from another well.
It comes from within.
And then you want me to move away from that?
No,
is it all right?
No. It's amazing. It's amazing. But what I'm going to drive into now as we just get more into the conversation about restoration is we're talking about it now and it sounds so nice and I'm sure people are just like, oh my gosh, these women, oh, they're so, we love them and and we love the way they talk and we can relate. But we're going to go to the pain of getting to the point of this point where I can say to you, wow. She said, I can't believe that I woke up this morning knowing exactly that I was going to run around and do Efe Present, and this is going to bring my joy. Talking to Pewa today, there are 10,000 other things that I could be doing, but I needed, this is the thing that I needed to do to just to keep myself to myself.
Even my lady at home today said, you're in a good mood today. I said, hallelujah. At 10 o'clock, guys, please finish everything. I'm going. Yeah.
The enabler.
It's a beautiful feeling.
Yes, it is.
And it's also an unapologetic feeling.
It is a very unapologetic feeling.
So because we grow up, under instructions. You did this wrong, do this right, do this right. And it's like, you just can't stop saying, I'm sorry, mommy, I'm sorry, daddy, I'm sorry, auntie, I'm sorry, uncle. Such an apologetic lifestyle.
I'm actually quite intentional now about never saying, sorry for what? Yeah, what am I sorry for? Like, I'm so sorry all the time.
So
it's actually
I'm not sorry.
Yes.
I'm not sorry.
But we're talking about it now, but we need to just delve into that pain side of it. We need people to understand, the people need to understand that it's not an easy process to get here. We look the way we look, we're happy the way we are, but you need to expect that there will just be that little bit of a polishing that is painful, the sanding that is painful, and you can get through it.
But
and
that is
you
why purpose
need
can
it.
help you. Look, purpose can also be seasonal. It's not. I think there's an overarching purpose, and then it's broken down in different seasons. So when I was 18, this was definitely not my purpose. To understand, but now that I'm midlife, my purpose is the picture looks different. So the pain has purpose. Every pain. The challenge is when there's no discernment. When there's no discernment, you can't process it. You can't process the grief. That yeast, my dear sisters, brothers, family, the yeast is to raise capacity in the dough.
Hallelujah.
But it has to go into the oven.
Sure. Yeah. Into the oven.
It has to go into the oven.
Whoa.
Whether it is a coal oven, electrical, gas, it must go into that hot environment so it can rise up.
So to create capacity.
Woe to the dough that is overexposed. And when you finally put it in, now there is a tragedy. It must go into the oven. Me, I always say, now bake me quickly so we can finish the
like, Lord, I'm tired.
Oh! And then the Holy Spirit says,
chill out.
30 minutes in the oven. I'm like,
okay,
finish, so that I can raise up to do what I'm supposed to do. But avoid that. You get sick. Avoid experiencing that heat. Avoid the oven. Avoid that process. That is the root of cancer, for example. That is the root of a desperately ill life. That's the root of depression.
Bitterness.
That's the root of bitterness. People, the husband has married 2 times already. That woman is still, he left me. Hey, the man has gone ahead. Or the wife has moved on. The man, that if you just block it because of the pain, should you block it, good luck. You'll be walking around like this. Put on the aesthetic arm and go. Now you can't enjoy your life just because of. And how much control do you have on people causing pain or painful situations? How much?
It's inevitable. It's not possible.
I don't have a power there, and I don't have any intention to develop my capacity there. Mine is to endure. This endurance thing is very big for me. I've gone through everything. I tell you, I've gone through everything. Sometimes I even say, I think some experiences, they come to the gate here and they're like,
should we enter?
It won't work.
This person is so ready.
No, can this mistake really come again? Can that Can that experience really come again?
Yeah,
Can
no,
it really?
no.
That's why I'm so intentional about empowering others.
Yeah.
Because what am I doing
Yes,
with the experience?
Exactly. I was gonna get there because I mean,
What am I
this
doing
is
with the
big for you at
experience?
the
I am
moment.
bursting,
Yes.
you know. I always say I'm so
Yes,
pregnant.
yes,
The only thing that must happen is delivery.
yes,
Whoever is willing to receive,
yes,
they are welcome.
yes.
What am I doing with the
Yes,
experience?
yes.
I'm so passionate about mentorship because I feel had I had a mentor,
yes,
where would I be today?
yes,
I would be Oprah's cousin.
yes,
But who took time
Yes.
to say,
yeah,
come here, my lady.
Yeah.
You look like there's some
Yes,
potential.
yes.
What is your
it?
dream?
Yeah,
I got mentorship too late,
Yes.
Efe.
yeah.
They saw me. They could see the way this child is
You're
playing
going-
Amagus,
yes,
the
yeah.
way she's on her things.
Yes.
Is she okay?
Yes.
What goes on when you
Yes,
sleep?
yes.
Can you write it down?
Yes.
Okay, here are 5 steps.
Yes.
At least let me reject the guidance.
know.
But don't deny it to me.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It was denied.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, you know, I actually think to
No.
myself, like, when I manifest in my purpose, like someone singing in my ear, and I'm like, but why didn't somebody tell me that this is how it felt like? So when I have to teach or when I have to talk to someone, I'm just like, this thing is easy.
In fact, it's the easiest.
Yes, I'm
All
like,
the other things
yeah.
are difficult. This one is, it must just feed you
Yeah,
now.
I'm just like, wow, this is, you know, it's amazing. Oh, wow. But
Thank
so,
you.
yeah.
So the endurance for me is where, and endurance is not easy. We are celebrating Christine Boma and
Yes,
Maselingi today.
yes.
Those kids have been training for the past 6 years.
Oh my
4
gosh.
to 6 years.
Listen,
Nobody knew
yes.
them.
And then all
Without
of a sudden-
food, without
yes,
sponsorship,
yes.
that coach was just zularing.
Yes.
And now today,
Yes.
we see the outcome.
Yes.
That's
yes,
endurance.
yes. You see, people see that and they think that that journey was so short. I mean,
No.
I run and I actually think, geez, this guy, for him to have trained these girls
To this level.
Yes, to this level.
He's a saint.
Oh my gosh, I was thinking, and to think that they quietly were just going
Oh, God is
through
good.
it. You know, it's amazing.
God is good. They deserve every good thing.
Yes,
Every
yes,
good thing.
yes,
Wow.
yes, it's amazing.
From that
Yes,
village.
yes, it's an amazing story.
And that's an indication
Yes.
of the potential.
Yes.
Yeah. So the endurance is very high. I mean,
Yes.
just look at what we spoke about now, where we
Yes.
are,
Yes.
and the journey of where we came
Yes.
from. The net.
Yes.
The ambassador who was
That
sitting
green
down
net. I
there.
have the pictures.
Darling,
I can
and
blackmail you with those
send me,
pictures.
please. You know, then when the wind blows and there's 5 customers, the whole scent from the riverbed into the plate, and then you run. It was. Did I even know what I was doing? I just knew something must be different about this community.
But Pera, isn't that amazing? That when you look back and you actually think, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing something. That is an amazing thing.
No, it's called grace.
You understand, like
It's called grace.
Sometimes when the plan falls together, you're like,
It's called grace.
how did I know what I was doing? And then
You
people
know,
even
if
come.
we
yeah.
didn't know the Lord through this journey,
Yes.
we would be walking around with asthma pumps today.
Yes.
I also used to walk around with asthma pumps.
Yeah,
to understand.
Yeah, so that pain is necessary.
It's called grace.
Yes,
The
it's-
pain, I don't think it's something avoidable, unless there's no intention to rise. If you want to remain flat, it's okay. But if you have any intention to be at a better place, from A to B, where B is a better place, I just can't imagine how that process can be avoided. Even if you want a child, there must be a planting of a seed in a fertile womb.
Yes.
It must raise,
Yes.
it must exit.
Yes.
Everything has that process.
yeah.
And how do you avoid it?
Yes, it's unavoidable. So
Endurance.
I'm going to bring our
Okay.
interview closer to the end.
We just started. Sorry.
So we're going to talk about flourishing after pain. Now, people tend to always associate the flourishing thing to material things. But I think just watching this interview, guys, I think you must have a little idea about what flourishing actually now means, even though Mepewa is going to still talk about it and explain.
You saw the theme of my retreat this year. Was flourishing.
Yes, it was. When I initially wrote this interview, if you check the first one I sent to you, you will see that in the brackets I put talk about the women's retreat, because this was such a perfect tie-in to what you were what you were preparing for.
Yeah.
Because like you say, there's this thing inside of you that you have to give to the people. But I think the women who were at that retreat, I just had exams, so I couldn't come. But I suspect that everybody who attended that retreat, I think something is different in them today.
Oh, yes.
If you could talk to all, I wasn't there, but I actually know, because this is something that I experienced with you. We've grown up together with me, knowing that when I'm with you and I leave you,
Really?
I understand the
There's
different
something.
concept of flourishing.
Hallelujah.
Yes, and there is, and you've taught me how to flourish without guilt. And I think this is what you had to teach in your retreat, that we get into this point, we've been through the pain, we've been in the oven, we have understood that these are certain things that we need to carry out. Now we want to talk about the flourishing. I'm not talking about the cars, I'm not talking about, but you have come to this point in your life, and it's a complete delight to be a part of your life at this point where it is. And I can only imagine that it's going to get better. It's going to get sweeter, because you can see it. Because there's one thing. Yes, there's one thing that you are so certain about flourishing. When you are flourishing, there are always people around you. You are always giving, and I'm sure you are beginning to notice that the crowd, the people around you, are becoming more, and there you get the responsibility that I need to give. So this is something that I've always gotten from you. So I want you to talk about this thing that you have, because it's a natural thing for you. Some of us, we still have to, we still have to come to you and say, I'm not going on holiday. And then you're like, just go, but for you, it's pack the things in the car and we're off, kind of thing. So that's why I need you to talk about this flourishing that comes after restoration, what it means, and why what to look for, and how you start. Because once you understand that you are flourishing, and when you start to feel that you are flourishing, you work harder to flourish,
to maintain it.
Yes.
So
to keep flourishing.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. And
Yes.
that I'm reminded of the way the flower opens up. Like now we are entering spring.
Yes.
If you go to the nurseries, there's a lot of petunias, and these marigold flowers.
Mepeo likes flowers.
Yes, please. Flowers, vouchers in
She loves flowers.
Farah's garden or anything nursery. Please, thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
God bless you.
So, in all honesty,
Yes.
you are now a seed.
Yes.
And that seed has a duration
Yes.
to germination.
Yes.
But it's under the soil, dark. And this will continue every time.
Yes.
Something must come forth,
Yes.
must spring forth.
Yes.
It's dark. It's also cold under the soil. There's nobody's even saying well done, because nobody knows what is planted there. It's rough because that soil must find its way, that seed must find its way through a few rocks and compost sand to eventually sprout. And between sprouting and germination, there's a duration.
Yes.
Oh, Efe, it's hard.
Yes.
Because now you're pregnant with a vision.
Yes.
You know things must look different, but it's not showing.
Yes.
But I'm not happy with where I was. I must be here, but what does it mean? And you can see the climate has changed. Your mood, the way your temperament is different. You are irritated. You can be in a party. People are playing loud music. You can't hear it.
Yes.
You want to go back home and finish that book. That's the process to flourishing.
Yes.
Then it pops out. Then it even seed packets say between germination to harvest is 3 months, 90 days. Then there's still that process.
After the
Meanwhile, it's a rose. We just
Yes.
don't know.
What-
People
yeah.
spit on it.
Yes.
People criticize
Yes.
because they are stimulated by
Yes.
only things that show color
Yes.
and fruit. But you are not in fruit
Yes.
bearing yet. You
Yes.
still you are fruitful,
Yes,
but
but
you're
you're
not
not in fruit.
bearing. You haven't even borne fruit yet.
Don't even have those
So
little
it
things.
can't even ripen.
Yes.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Then once it finally bears fruit,
Yes.
there's another process. Vakwetu. Oh, to ripening. And you must still handle with care.
Yes.
You must still know
Yes.
I am ripe, but I'm not, I'm a fruit. I'm on the tree,
Yes.
but I'm not ready for harvest yet.
Yes.
It can be a full lifetime. Do you know that? It can be a complete,
Complete
lifetime
cycle.
of a cycle.
Yes.
And then you finally ripen. Only then can that fruit impact.
Yes.
I am ripe.
Yes. Man.
I am ripe, my sister. I'm just ripe.
Yes.
And there's plenty.
Yes.
I actually feel very deep now. There's plentifulness. And I asked for it.
Yes.
I asked
It is what
in
you
the
look
Bible,
for.
there's a
Yes.
scripture that says, abide in me. And I will abide in you.
Yes.
So that, it's in John,
Yes.
so that you can bear much fruit.
Yes.
I asked for it.
Yes.
I said, Lord, I cannot live a fruitless life.
Yes.
I cannot.
Yes.
If I'm going to be fruitless,
Yes.
delete.
Yes.
We spoke.
Yes. There was a conversation.
Yes, and that's when I got the instruction that that retreat will be called flourish,
Flourishing.
because you cannot be fruitful if you are not flourishing.
Amen.
And flourishing, Efe, is a choice.
Yes.
Is a choice.
Yes.
There's a book I read from a lady who was a survivor of the Holocaust,
Yes.
and the way she went through hell.
Yes.
And to think that she went to eventually visit the grave of Hitler.
Yes.
And on that gravesite in Austria, she found flowers sprouting. And she said, wow.
Yeah. You would never.
In her old age,
Yes.
when she eventually made it to
Yes.
that site,
Yes.
she said, even in hell,
Yes.
flowers can
Yes.
sprout.
Wow.
And she says, in all that journey,
Yes.
her journey was very hard.
Yes.
In all that journey,
Yes.
her biggest lesson was a
Yes.
choice.
Yes.
The power of choice.
Choice.
So
Amazing.
pain
Yes.
provides you with
Yes.
a beautiful
Yes.
option called
Yes.
choice.
Yeah.
What will you do with this pain?
Yes.
If I have to, we need to do a series on what pains I'm going through. Sometimes I even forget about it. I'm like, it's true, I went through that.
I know. It is my reminder. He just keeps reminding me. He's like, do you remember that person did? I'm like,
It's
really?
true, ne?
Yeah.
And sometimes I even greet the people.
Yes,
How are
me
you? Long time. And then the
Yeah.
other person will say, remember
Yeah,
what you did the
but
other day?" I
especially-
said, it's
Oh,
true.
I know.
Then
it's
I must try and
amazing.
find the anchor, but it's gone.
gone. Yeah,
it's
amazing.
gone.
It really
So
is.
when I started embracing these things of my
Yes,
journey,
yes,
where am I
yeah,
in this
yeah.
season? Am I germinating? Am I sprouting?
Yeah.
And when you know how you are sprouting, you apply Ecclesiastes 1, because it tells you the times and seasons. Meaning,
Yes.
I'm just in this season.
Yes.
The danger is not to know when the
When
season
season
has
is-
changed.
Yeah, true.
Because the fruit rots.
Yes.
If you don't harvest
Harvest
it,
it will-
if you
yeah.
don't take it off the tree,
Yes.
the mango,
Yes.
it's ripe.
Yes.
I'm ripe.
Yes.
That's why you can't tell me about some foolish
Yes.
mistakes I made 10 years
Yes.
ago. It goes in the compartment of
Yeah,
experience.
Yeah, true.
Now, when the danger is if you don't pluck it off the tree, when it's time, it rots.
Yes.
And no one can consume
Yes.
a rotten fruit. It will give you,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
So, my intention now is what I've asked for in
Yes.
John. I will not leave you, my Lord. I'm not there. Forget it. You know, when I see people that do evangelism, they go to houses. Hello, we want to talk about that. I'm like, darling, you can't tell me about God. Here, it's not negotiable.
Yes, yeah.
In Oshuambo, they call it kakaiwa. Kakaiwa is like these aunties that are so obsessed with hallelujah, praise the Lord. I'm like, add it on my name.
Yeah.
I'm kakaiwa. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yes.
Some they are called cyclists.
Yes.
Some are called chess champions. For me, put it on.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's something I have a conviction
Yes,
about.
yes.
And it is well. I'm happy to die for it.
Yes.
Like Nelson Mandela said, for this truth,
Yes.
I'm prepared to sacrifice my life.
Yes.
So don't come and tell me about those things. Don't hand out pamphlets to me. I'm done. I'm sold to the Holy Spirit. We are okay.
And we are
And we are fruitful. Now, fruitfulness is a choice. You must command it. Because if you don't, you'll always be searching.
Yes.
Always be searching,
Yes.
always be angry.
Yes.
And fruitfulness, like how I have embraced it, is regular.
Yes.
It's regular.
Yes.
I will not wait one day
Yes.
when all the problems
Yes.
are gone
Yes.
to say thank you,
Yes.
to say mbashandangi okuhepa ngiyabonga. I can't do that. First, I don't have control on when that will be.
Yes.
Number two, I actually have gratitude now.
Moving the gratitude that you got.
Barometer
into
to
the-
fruitfulness,
yes,
yes.
yes.
So
Yeah.
until the breath is out of my lungs,
Yes.
if there's a vessel, if it's a young woman, an older woman, I was even wondering, now what gift is this, Lord?
Yes.
I thought my gift is an entrepreneurship.
Yes, or
Now
to-
what is
or
this
to
now?
talk.
Or to talk. Hamba, shit. So it's to also talk to women.
Yes.
Are you
And
depressed?
and it's to help
Let
you,
me
and
lift
it's
you
to-
up.
And it's to help you flourish.
Now I said, God, just write me an email because this thing of revealing.
You need to send me the terms and conditions of this arrangement.
Apostle Jennifer says, Pewa, the Holy Spirit will give you revelation upon revelation. I'm like, no, Apostle Mweti, tell the Holy Spirit. Did they tell you
Yeah.
that? Huh? This thing of occasional. Tell the Holy Spirit to just send me a whole
Yeah.
email. Then I know the whole thing.
Yeah, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
I'm like, oh,
Lepewa-
thank you. You know, there's such a gift in fellowship. I
Yes.
forgot the scripture now,
Yes.
but it speaks about edification
Yes.
of one another.
Yes.
Edify.
It's in the book. It's the book that starts with a T. What is that? book?
Timothy.
Yes.
Timothy?
Yes. You must
Says-
edify one another.
Yes. And we just don't do that
Yes,
enough.
we don't.
We spend more time
Yes.
criticizing each
Yes.
other. What if we just divert that
Yes.
attention
Yes.
to edify
Yes.
one another?
Yes.
Edify
Yes.
means add value.
Yes.
Edify means encourage. Edify. And what will it take from you? Someone called me, somebody who I respect, says, Pewa, these things you are doing, this entrepreneurship, empowerment, leadership, these things to bring people up. You are really serious about them, eh? So I said, yes, I am. And what if they overtake you?
Oh my gosh, what a mentality. That's so horrendous. Oh, sorry, guys.
I said,
use
wow.
words like horrendous and terrible.
Wow. So
Yeah.
these people can see
But that is-
potential
yeah,
in the
and they
youth
just use-
that are suicidal.
yes.
You can see the potential in young
Yeah,
women
but they
that
just-
need skills
they
and
just keep it-
guidance.
yeah.
You can see the potential in, but you are afraid
Afraid
of
of- yeah,
empowering them
yes.
because there's a
Yes,
risk of them.
yes.
So I said, how can
Yeah.
how will a 18-year-old child
Yes.
in Havana
Yes,
overtake me?
yes.
First of all,
Even by
we are
age.
running two different
Yes,
races.
Yeah.
If there is air in my lungs and there are vessels out there that want what I'm offering, I will do it.
Yes.
Until the one who put the air in
Yes.
takes it out.
But there's something amazing about helping other people.
You therapeutic. That's not even
Yes.
amazing. Therapy.
Yeah, but you know, I've just found that the more I help, the more
The
I
better you
edify.
feel.
Yes, and the more I get.
Yes. Oh.
It's like I've let that thing go to let something. It's
Okay, let me help you here
Yes.
with a biblical lesson.
Yes.
It's not amazing. It is a covenant.
Yes.
It is sowing and reaping. When you sow at that level,
Yes.
you shall reap.
Yes.
So what's happening? You are reaping.
Yes.
When you say I get more,
Yes.
that is the automatic return
Yes,
of
on
what
that-
you
oh,
gave.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a
and plus
principle
the
that
type
you-
of things
yes.
you get back
Yes.
are so deep.
Yes. And they're so beautiful.
Oh, I'll give. I'm going to give empty me. And as I give, more is coming. I'm
Yes.
like, so it doesn't end. The well
No.
is literally.
It's overflowing. The word is overflowing.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna bring our interview to
Okay.
an end because I think we've sort of just covered everything.
All
We've talked about
right.
restoration and the pain and why it's necessary and what it really means to flourish and what it really means to restore oneself and bring oneself back to the things and to really understand that all of this is tied into your purpose, all of this is tied into what you have been assigned to do. Mepewa?
Okay, now to tie into that
Yes,
closure, I'm
yes,
Kwanyama also,
yes.
so closing is really hard. But anyway,
Yes.
imagine, okay, I'm talking now from a godly perspective.
Yes.
You are God, or you are the mother, or you are the father, or you are the owner of this garden. You've planted your seeds. You know very well, here I've planted apples, I've planted oranges, I've planted guavas, etc. You water, you have given sunlight, you've given rain, you water, and your plants, your trees, they sprout, but they're just not bearing fruit. I have a garden at home. Efe,
A big one, guys, with lots of vegetables.
okay, anyway, yeah, it's also part of the glow.
I saw that.
Nay,
Yes.
hallelujah. So you just imagine you go buy seeds, like me I buy seeds, I do seedlings, and then we transplant them and we wait. Imagine the effort it takes to water, the cost,
Yes.
the time, the input, the fertilizers, and then my crops come out and they are opposite from
Yes,
what I
what's
planted.
yeah.
What must I do? I try to restore them.
Yes.
I will first get restorative
Yes,
measures.
yes.
Put this fertilizer
Yes.
or put a net over it,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
And then when it doesn't go right, I need to take it out.
Yes.
Because I cannot keep spending time, I cannot keep spending resources,
Yes.
water.
I hear you.
Are you
I
with
see where
me?
you're going.
Do you
yeah.
see?
Yes, I see where you're going.
So, bearing fruit
Yes. Yes. Yes, I hear you.
is just mandatory.
Yes. It is. It has to be done.
It-
You have to restore, and you have to bear fruit.
If you do not
Yes.
bear fruit,
Yes.
you are dead.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, like Jesus cursed the fig tree.
Yes.
Yes. What are you alive for?
What are
what
doing?
are you doing? Yes.
It's a waste
Yes,
of time.
yes,
Now,
yes.
leave the government out. Leave whoever abused you out. Leave whatever you experience out.
Yes.
Go inside
Yes.
and say, now this pain
Yes.
must give me
Is something.
something.
Yes.
Is it to, maybe you
Yes.
went through a traumatic experience.
Yes.
Let's say you were raped.
Yes.
Maybe it's to encourage
Yes.
others. Because as long as it didn't take your life,
Yes.
there's still a purpose.
The word of God does say
yes.
anyway that we do go through trials and
For a
tribulations.
purpose.
Yes, to be able to
Encourage others. Imagine somebody coming to tell me how to deal with my pain and they've never gone through the pain.
Yes.
You are lying.
Yes.
The only one who can encourage you
Yes.
through a situation
Yes.
is one who has gone through it.
I hear you. And that is so true.
So you use the pain, man. It's an opportunity. Okay, in entrepreneurship, we call it an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
Yes.
I will never be mentored by somebody who hasn't gone through
Yes.
similar problems.
Yes.
I will never receive advice from somebody
Yes.
who hasn't gone through a similar situation. They are lying to you.
It's true.
Fruit bearing
Yes.
is the only option
Yes.
left.
You have no choice.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So my closing
Yes.
remarks.
Yes.
Just imagine if it were you
Yes.
with a garden.
Yes.
You water,
Yes.
you plant,
Yes.
you prune.
Yes.
Pain is pruning. We are being pruned
Yeah.
because that vine in the vineyard can only bear fruit if it's on the branch. And it can bear much fruit.
Yes, much.
Much fruit, but on the vine.
Yeah.
Pruning, it must be tied, it
Yes.
must be cut.
It must
You
be.
even think that vine is dead,
Yes.
but it has
Yes.
to be pruned
Yes.
for it to bear much
much
fruit.
Yeah.
It's a covenant.
Yes.
I'm so sold for the things of God, Efe. I don't even miss company. If
Yes.
I'm alone and with the Bible or with the audio or a teaching, it's fine.
It's
If
okay.
this for me is church,
Yes.
we've just gone to
Yes,
church.
yeah.
It's restoration,
Yes.
it was reflection,
Yes.
it's healing.
Yes.
May what we have experienced be the portion for our
Yes.
listeners.
Yes. That is awesome.
And that
Mepewa.
brings me to the end.
So thank you
And I'm
so
a naturally quiet person.
Yeah,
The problem is the situations that I
No, Mepewa is not quiet.
me,
So
I'm a quiet
Mepewa, I want to
person.
thank you so much for being with us
Ah.
and being here. And I'm sure that a lot of people out there, guys, you've heard us, you've seen us. Yeah, you can put us in a room together again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
and
need a moderator.
yes, we will need a moderator for that. But Mepewa, thank you so much. Like I said, this is really an honor, and thank you for being part of my
It's
life.
a privilege.
Yes,
Love. We are done
yeah.
with honor. Honor is about yourself,
Yes.
but it's a privilege when it's
Yeah,
about others.
yeah, it's a privilege. Thank you, Mepewa.
privilege.
Thank you for being my mentor, even though you have never formally and officially accepted that title.
That will be edited out.
But you have been a rock, and you've really been a support
Is it
throughout
not
my
by
life.
the grace of
Yes,
God?
it is by the grace of God. I will.
When I reflected
yes.
now earlier on the things you've been going through, Mashe, half of your face should be a stroke now. Yes,
somebody- Somebody called me yesterday with business issues. You know, like she's asking me for advice, but she's shouting at me. I said, "Hey, wait, hold on. You call. In fact, I called you with my super away, so don't waste.
No, they can talk. It's fine.
I know. No, you understand what I'm saying, but I had to bring her to that place of understanding that listen, this thing that you're going through, it will happen. It's what it is, you know. So this is who you have been in my. I'm able to be that person to other people because of what you have been to me.
What a blessing.
Yes, what a blessing. So thank you
I
for
thought
being.
I'm called to produce cosmetics. Now I'm producing people.
Yeah, you are. You are producing.
One of my products, guys, I don't produce rubbish. Thank you. It's such a blessing.
All right.
Such
So
a
thank you
blessing.
guys, and see you soon. Thank you, Mepewa.
Shalom. May
Cheers.
His grace
Bye.
remain sufficient for you.
Amen.